Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is the Sprint 4 demo video. During the sprint, the major accomplishments are implementing the Gravia glove, which included a temporary hand animation to show you kind of firing the Gravia rift, and the other big thing was the gravity barriers, which are these kind of shimmering fields that block the forces of the Gravia rifts. So I'll go through the major items and starting with the Gravia glove. So first thing you'll notice is that I have a hand in the scene now, and it's kind of at the ready. This is a temporary model that I found on the asset store. I'll be making my own custom model in the near future, but for now this is what I have. If you start running, the hand kind of automatically goes away. When you stop, it comes back. And this is the implementation of the Gravia glove, which lets you fire projectiles that turn into rifts or black holes. So we have the crosshair in the middle, and if we shoot, you'll see the animation, and then the projectile goes across the room and turns into a rift when it hits the surface. And click again to get rid of it. So the hand has a particular animation on it, kind of like you're forcing the projectile forward. And then when the rift converts, or the projectile converts to a rift, the player or the animation kind of has a closed fist that it holds while the rift is in existence, and then goes back to the idle afterwards. So you can also convert the rift early by clicking again, but the rift will automatically, or the projectile automatically turns into a rift if it hits something before you click. So the safety measure is that you can't fire this. If it hits something too soon after you fire, then it will just disappear and fizzle, and that's just because if you actually did create a rift that close to you, it would immediately pull you in and kill you. So kind of like that almost did. So far enough away it converts, close by it kind of fizzles. Okay, so as we saw, creating a black hole and destroying it before you get knocked into it is kind of a big concept in Gravia's gameplay. We can clear gaps, and when you get used to it, you can use the glove to travel around and move pretty quickly from place to place. Okay, so that is the glove. The next thing we're going to look at is there are kind of some effects that happen when you're close to a black hole or a rift. If I put this across the screen, nothing is really happening right now, but as I get closer and closer to it, you start hearing a little bit of a sound, and the screen starts vibrating a bit, and then eventually starts darkening, and you see this kind of a vignette effect come in. So that's just to give the player a sense that they are under the effect of one or more rifts, and the closer they get or the stronger the forces, the more dramatic it gets. So I'm holding down my brace key so I don't get pulled into it, but eventually it would pull me in. So now you can see it, the effect is gone. Okay, so that's just a minor kind of a cosmetic thing just to give some additional feel to when you're close by to a rift, just so you know that it's happening. The next big thing are gravity barriers, and these are kind of electronic fields that both prevent you from firing a rift through it, and also prevents the rifts from drawing in objects that are on the other side of it. So right now on the floor, you can see kind of a beam going across, or a plate. That is the projector for the rift, for the gravity barrier. And I have a trigger set up so that if I get close to it, it just turns on. So I'll do that first of all. So you can see the effect is just kind of a shimmering field. If I try to shoot a rift at it, it will just fizzle, and it has a distinctive fizzle look, kind of a blue particle instead of the purple particle when you hit the floor, this makes more of a blue. But you can also see that that rift on the other side is not affecting me. And if I were to step just a bit to the side of that, I'm actually being pulled in by this other rift. Let me do that again. So I'm not being affected by this rift at all. It's not pulling on me whatsoever because I'm on the other side of this barrier. But if I just get on the other side of it, now I'm instantly pulled over to it. So this is a big part of the gameplay in Gravia, where you can use these to see what's on the to be able to stay in one place even though there's a rift on the other side without getting actually pulled into it. And we have another one on the other side here, and if you get real close to it, it kind of dims a little so you can see through it better. You can see that that effect is less powerful and when I get close to it versus far away. But it doesn't matter how strong the rift is on the other side, it doesn't pull you through. Okay, and the other little detail to show while we're here is that I implemented just a little feature in the UI to show the statistics of a rift on the heads-up display. And this just shows you some information about it's kind of just on the player's visor, but this shows how strong a rift is, what its radius and mass are, and just some other details. And these show up anytime the rift is on the screen and essentially visible to the player. If it goes beyond a wall that doesn't transmit forces, then you lose the information about it. And that's something that right now you can turn on and off depending on whether you want it or not. Okay, last item in this sprint worth showing is just some kind of effects on the particle systems. This area is the damage room, but that's not what we're interested in right now. These are just particles, and I've set things up so that the rifts can pull particles in the same way that they would with physical objects. So you can see that that steam is all now heading towards the rift. All of these particle systems that are somewhat nearby are getting pulled over to it. But if I were to put the rift on the other side of this wall, the wall blocks the forces, so it doesn't affect those particle systems at all. Okay, so that's about it. Again, the big thing is the Gravia glove and being able to create your own rifts again and being able to move around in the world with the power of black holes. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.